idea up ahead. Game face check. Can I call dibs?
Not the time, Jack.
So, what's the plan?
Dunno. This all feels a bit improvisational, if I'm being honest.
You bring no banner?
Didn't feel the need.
I held a small hope you might see reason. Yet you remain the same Kirkin that made me abandon the Immortals years ago. Obsessed with victory, stranger to compromise. Your eye ever bent towards the world's ruin.
And you just want to save it.
I can. With this. Its mastery over the fonts means I can end the war.
You mean win the war? By turning the rest of us defenseless?
In our every meeting, a yipping pump.
Jack's right, though. You're not worthy of that power, Sandrak. Your airships bomb the free cities of the East and then wonder why they resist you now? The last order that surrendered to Rasharn, you burned their ambassadors alive. If my eye is ever bent towards the world's ruin, it's because I'm trying to stop the man causing so much of it.
Please. Don't make me do this.
Captain Selko. You went mad. You didn't abandon us. You were exiled. And I'm still paying the price for not killing you.
Remember, this blood is on your hands.
It's the wound! He's moving it!
We have to go! Now! Fall back!
Devin.
Jack, glad you're on your feet. That could have been so much worse. Took ages, but Zendara was finally able to dig you out of the rubble.
Oh, no, not her. I rather would have died. I'm never living that down.
Nope. Never.
How many did we lose?
Considering Sandrak just dropped a city into the wound, surprisingly few. But enough to have made his point. Kirkin's left for Lavenry to talk with the king. He wants a full surrender after Nocia. There's even talk that Kirkin's emergency powers may be rescinded.
So who's in charge?
Zendara. And I'll warn you, she's in a bit of a mood.
Kind of on brand for her.
I heard that!
Whoops.
Meet us in the war chamber, Jack. We've come to the conclusion that we're in desperate need of a plan.
I'm Jack. Saw you wore the Immortals glyph. Figured I'd introduce myself.
You're the new recruit. I'm the Viscount Hauserel, Lord of Severnridge and Eye of Lavenry. Sorry I missed your induction ceremony, Jack.
On a mission, your lordship?
Sure. And please, just Hauser. Fewer words benefit us all. Honestly, I didn't think anyone would pass selection this time around. No one has in years. So I dallied. Apologies again, I should have been here for you.
No worries. So, what was the mission?
I'm a hexbrand, Jack. Do you know what that is?
Oh, an assassin.
Yes. You can figure out the mission from there.
I didn't see you at Nocia when we confronted Sandrak. Were you there?
Answered your own question there, no?
I mean, maybe that was the point. You not being seen. Like you were covering us or something.
Considering what happened, perhaps I should have been. But no, I was away taking care of a few things. An ambassador of Kylay caught wind of the meeting in Nicaea. Thought they would show up with a delegation to show their support for Lucium's surrender.
Yeah, they didn't make it.
Funny that.
Being a Viscount, that means you have a claim to the throne, right?
I'm 15th in line and never getting closer. Realistically, you have as much claim as I do.
Uh-huh, sure. What's it like being part of a dynastic house?
It's bad for one's health.
Come on.
Oh, I'm serious. Why else would so many of us train as assassins? There's the ever war between kingdoms, and then there's the little war known in every court in Aveum. They're the same except for scale. Magni obsessed with fighting other Magni for the rule of magic. I have to watch my back on two fronts.
I didn't think the Immortals had assassins.
Understandable. It's not really tip of the spear now, is it? The Immortals are more than that. It's just Kirkhan's favorite way of selling it.
Does she give you a target list? Writs? Devin said writs once.
Call them sanctions. Their approval is a nebulous mix of Lavenry, the Grand Magnus, Circumstance, and myself. Are you interested in taking one on?
Wait, we can do that? How?
The Order of Masks have a group of Magni called the Six that range far from Rasharn. Lucium needs them dead. If you want the sanction, it's yours. That's how we do it.
Talk to you later, Hauser. Orphe?
Candle.
So with your, special sight, do you know who wins the Everwar?
Depending on when we look. Sometimes. Malbiage is winning it now against the Kell. Oh, we're 12,000 years ago, when sigils were worn as crowns.
Not so much then.
Eternal things, like the Everwar or the Aristea. Time runs out of room to record them. Room and desire. When things get too old, time loses interest.
Yeah, I don't... You know that sounds weird, right? No offense.
Oh, it's very weird. aggravating too. We want to know if Rasharn secures a decisive victory as much as you do. Time's just not paying attention to it.
I've been meaning to ask you about your mask.
It has nothing to do with Rasharn's Order of Masks. They are little more than a broken cult, playing with trinkets and damnation.
Oh, whoa, I totally wasn't gonna make that connection.
The Akel settled along the western rain valleys long ago. This was before the Gaterond, the cataclysm that claimed them all, except for me.
Hold up, I think you might have skipped ahead.
Oh, we were talking about our tally mask? It shifts through all the faces of my people, each and every one. You're unable to see it, of course. We were the only Yakala to survive. So we wear the rest of their faces in memory.
And it's like the wall of names, your mask. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
It's only a mask, Candle. We could never get upset. Sadly, we could not. The Thradakul is an Aristean art.
Wait, did you just read my mind?
We can't do that. Such magic was outlawed at Atheron.
Okay, but then how did you...
Oh, of course. You're just catching up to the discussion you started. As we were saying, Nosia's fate was hidden from us, as was Sandrak's breach of the war chamber. The Thradakul is an Aristean artifact. Those always put tiny perforations in time. Look too close to pasts or futures in their proximity. Pages get torn away.
Huh. Maybe that's how it lay hidden for so long. Seers can't see it clearly.
Nor scrying glass. Sometimes, however, holes in time have movements. Context. Tilt your eyes and predictions can occur. That's how a lot of our counterintelligence is done against enemies using chronoflage. It's unfortunate that no such methods would have worked at Nosia.
Good chat, Orphe. Ambassador Damley?
Hello, Jack.
So what does the Royal Advisor do with the Palathon exactly?
On paper, I'm here to uphold the interests of the royal family and counsel the Grand Magnus on the Immortals' role in the Everwar.
I hear a but in there.
But, since Kirkin has enough authority in Lucium now to ignore me, I just skulk about, raiding the Palathon's wine collection and writing spicy letters of fabricated intrigue to the court back home.
I don't buy it.
You caught me. Since the Grand Magnus refuses to let me in, I must resort to simply spying on all of you. I'll be very discreet.
How widely known is it that Sandrak was an immortal?
Too widely for the Crown's liking. Still, given his record and years of service to Lucium, it's hard to hide it without resorting to somewhat amoral magic.
I spent 5 years in the Lights Army with Kirkin as my mentor, and I had no idea.
Losing him was a blow. He was a hero to Lucium. Rasham's strongest son, fighting against the corruption of his homeland. Many thought he would win us this war.
Until he became the war. So why did he quit and rejoin Rasharn?
Only one person in the Palathon knows that, and I can guarantee you she won't tell.
I hear Kirkin's the only one keeping us from surrendering to Rasharn.
You wound me, Jack. Who do you think convinced the king to speak with her in the first place? After Nosia, confidence in the Palathon's ability to wage this war...
Got shaken a bit?
It cratered.
Ouch.
Kirkin and I have our differences, but we both agree that it's crucial for the king to have faith in a Lucian victory. Ask Kalthis what Sandrak's peace looks like.
I have to go, Ambassador.
Kirkin may be gone, but our job's still the same. Eliminating Sandrak and his hold over the fonts.
There are 5, right? He can't have them all yet. We may not know what the Binding Stone does, or how Sandrak uses it, but we can try and keep him away from the rest if all of us just... What?
The fonts are hidden from us, Jack. Invisible. Buried in the liminal spaces where the borders between Aveum and the Shrouded Realm are weakest.
We only know the location of 2. The Palathon is actually built around one, and the other is in the Tower of Masks in Rasharn.
Which means Sandrak's already used the Binding Stone to absorb its power.
We have to assume he has.
Technically, we now know the location of 3 fonts, but the one in the Pale Forest is, well, you saw what happened to it.
So that leaves the last 2, and only Sandrak knows where they are. Fine. Pin that. We concentrate on the Binding Stone instead. We know where that is. We just need to learn how to shut it off. And fast.
Not necessarily. According to my research, a Thradda cull takes a huge toll on its possessor. Sandrak will have to rest before doing another stunt like that. We may have a little time.
Which leads us to former Grand Magnus, Thaddeus. Kirkin's predecessor, now in exile. The oldest of us that still lives. By all accounts, he was an expert on Aristea. If there's a weakness to the very Aristean Binding Stone, he'll know about it. In theory.
Sticky wicket, the situation with Thaddeus.
That's not important.
Kind of feels like it is.
What Zendara means to say is it doesn't matter that Thaddeus hates the Immortals and everything we stand for, because you'll undoubtedly figure out a way to convince him to help us. And a bonus potential setback, because the universe is cruel. Like the remaining fonts, we also don't know where Thaddeus is.
His last known location was the Sky Islands of Oromond, digging through the archives at the Library of Akoth.
Okay, then what are we waiting for? I go to Oromond, make nice with a friendly librarian.
Actually getting to Oromond is difficult, Initiate. You're gonna need to learn how to ride a ley line. Devin, you're running support. Walk Jack through what he needs to do to get airborne.
Ready when you are, Jack.
Sir, about Oromond, and what's his name? Thaddeus?
Were the mission parameters unclear?
No, sir. I just figured some more intel never hurts.
It hurts time, Initiate. Do you want to hurt time?
I don't know much about Oromond. Never been that far west in any of the fighting.
That's because Oromond dropped out of the Everwar a long time ago. Even before then, they remained largely neutral. Then their magical experiments cut them off from the rest of the kingdoms, and it didn't much matter anymore.
Cut off how?
I don't have time to give you a history lesson. Devin can catch you up. All you need to know at present is that the Oromic made it a bitch to get out to them. Hence your need to ride a ley line.
And what about the Oromic themselves?
What's left of them are nomads, migrating from one sky island to another in search of arcanum deposits. Also, they can be a pain in the ass to deal with when you're an outsider.
The guy I'm looking for, our former Grand Magnus, does he really hate the Immortals?
The feeling's mutual. Your job is to ignore all that and find out what he knows about the Binding Stone.
It'd be so much easier to ignore if I knew what it actually was.
Nice try.
Sir, come on.
Thaddeus was Kirkin's mentor. Sandrak's too, in a way. Then he bailed on the Order for reasons you don't need to know, leaving Kirkin to fill his position when she really didn't feel ready for it. She was a huge fan of that.
At least you're sending the new guy to navigate through all the complicated drama. All right, I'm good. Heading out.
Don't fuck this one up, Initiate.
You'll need a special spell to properly ride the ley lines, and a strong stomach.
Why? What's this spell like?
Like Lash, only more panic, vertigo, and fear of heights. Fortunately, there's a Shroud Fane in the Harrows where you can find one.
The Harrows over in Havenshire? Got it. Alright, I'll be quick. But hey, you okay? We never really got to talk about what happened at Nicaea.
They're hard for me to pass, honestly. My feelings on all of that destruction. Call me when you have the spell, and I'll tell you where we go from there. Did you find the Shroud Fane in the Harrows?
I did not.
Don't faff about, Jack. We need to ride a ley line out to Ormond soon.
Glad to see you, Captain Soko. After what happened at Nocia, I wasn't sure who made it.
Sir,
Everything okay? That's a dumb question, isn't it?
my husband lost his son at Nocia. It was a disaster. And well, he was one of the many soldiers I brought through with the portal stone.
I'm so sorry, Captain. But no one knew how powerful Sandrak had become. That's not on you.
Don't. There's no scenario where I'm blameless in this.
Do you want to talk about it?
You probably don't want to know how I really feel. My thoughts aren't very kind towards the Magni at the moment. I'm afraid I might speak out of place.
So these unkind thoughts are just, what, against all of the Magni then? That doesn't seem fair.
With respect, sir, I find the notion of a Magnus feeling they're getting unfair treatment from a lightless to be
Keep going.
outrageous.
Nocia happened because of the Everwar, not the Magni.
They're one and the same, sir.
You were right. None of this was very kind at all.
Forgive me, sir. I'm just still shaken by the whole ordeal. I'll find myself in time.
Don't think I have a spell for that. don't think I have a spell for that. Devin, where do I head next? I've got the spell I need to ride the ley lines.
Splendid. The ley line we need to get to Orman is close by.
Heading your way then.
Some view, huh? If magical post-apocalyptic vistas are your thing.
What the hell happened out there?
The Gatorond. Mix stupid ideas with bold, magical experiments and blow your own kingdom to pieces.
Wait, they did it to themselves?
Indeed. So, the mission. Go to the archives at the Library of Akoth in Orman. See if we can find any trace of Thaddeus, and find out if he knows anything about the Binding Stone. You ready to leave now? Or do you want to go over other mission intel?
Back at the Palathon, it felt like you really wanted to tell me something about Thaddeus, but Zendara wouldn't let you.
He's a touchy subject, and Zendara's very protective of Kirkan. She'd be happy if we never talked about him at all. Thaddeus and Kirkan, they hate each other, more or less. You know about our secret duty as stewards of Lucium? The Immortals' mandate and such?
Yeah?
I poke around. I snoop. Tremendous deficit of character, I know. Evidently, there's another more deeper, extreme version of that mandate that only the Grand Magnus and their immediate confidants know about. Some task they're expected to do at some point. Turns out Thaddeus resigned as Grand Magnus and exiled himself before doing this super secret thing. Whatever it is.
So the Gatorond, huh? All I'd heard about Orman was that they gave up fighting in the Everwar, what, 20 years ago?
More or less. They basically ground themselves to sand. They didn't so much give up as vanish awkwardly from the stage.
What happened?
A populist faction with a fiery name that I can't remember took over the Ormic government. They advocated for an equal ownership of magic, not just between Magni, but among the lightless as well. They believed that by distributing magic evenly, the world would finally be able to work towards an end to the Everwar. Can you imagine? I mean, look where it got them.
Maybe? Part of me absolutely can.
Dynastic magical traditions, thousands of years old, versus some upstart idea of shared magic that results in the destruction of roughly a fifth of the continent? I'll trust my overly stringent forebears, thank you very much.
I think I'm good to go. After you.
Let's see if I remember how to do this.
I could get used to that.
Give me a portal any day. There's a very high vomit probability for me right now.
Suck it up, buddy. We need to get to...
Jack!
Hey, I'm Jack. This is Devin. Thanks for the assist. Well, what's your name?
Kenzie, you're Lucians, aren't you?
Also, Immortals. Just to be clear.
Is that a literal thing?
What? No, we can die. It's just
Good.
like...
Then stay back.
Hey, watch it!
Jack, I may have neglected to mention that the Ormic are notoriously territorial underneath their Bohemian facade.
Well, that's rich, coming from a pampered classist jackboot masquerading as some champion of justice.
Look, we're just looking for someone that was here a little bit ago.
I love neo-anarchist pablum as much as the next weak-kneed revolutionary. But I think we can both admit it loses its luster when it ultimately results in the destruction of your entire kingdom.
That's not what happened, and you imperialist fuckos know it.
Oh, did I say kingdom? I'm sorry. I meant a failed collective that's now just a stretch of gravity-challenged rocks. Maybe the next wrong-headed egalitarian social experiment with magic fares a bit better than all of this unchecked calamity.
Wow. Does he always love to hear himself talk this much?
Well...
Jack?
I mean, I can't say no. Look, how about we table the culture clash for a bit, huh? We came here on a mission to keep Sandrak from winning the Ever War. Maybe you can help us.
Who? You know what? Scratch that. It's not like I care who wins that stupid war. The sooner someone does, the sooner you can all get out of Orman.
You don't know who Sandrak is.
Nope. But I figure since you're Lucian, he's from Asharn. Same thing, really.
Different flags. Same oppressive totalitarian magic-hoarding police state. Am I doing it right?
Unhelpful.
You're on your own. Mind the road. These chronicler constructs are everywhere. Started spilling out of the library months ago. And you'll be happy to know that there are plenty of Rasharnians around, too. You can keep trying to prove which one of you has the right to determine the lives of the rest of us.
Hey, wait up. We really are here to save the world.
Let her go.
With the Rasharnians and these chroniclers about, we really could use someone that knows the territory. I'll catch up with her and...
Be nicer?
Good plan. You push forward to the library and we'll meet you there. She'll come around.
can grapple over there. Gotcha. That's a whole lot of lurge.
radical, who, it turns out, still wants nothing to do with me.
Super. So she bailed again.
She did, but I managed to learn that the Sky Librarians built the Chronicler constructs to serve as assistants in some great undertaking that ultimately went pear-shaped. By which I mean the constructs killed them all in a bloody uprising.
Everyone? So there's no one at the library to ask about Thaddeus.
And yet you'll persevere. For my part, I'm going to hunt down and destroy as many of the Chroniclers as I can. They're too close to the Lucian border for my liking.
Copy that. Meet me at the library when you can. This metal shit. keep coming across some weird swirling metal material. Any idea what it is?
I've seen it before. Constructs often take their embedded instructions and improve on them to do their jobs better and faster. Sometimes they leak those instructions. It comes out of them like metallic sweat.
You mean learning? They leak learning.
Sure. Invariably, it bubbles out and just makes a mess. Constructs are usually broken down before it happens. The fact that there's so much, well, leakage, yuck, around here means these chroniclers have probably become very, very smart. Have you found the entrance to the archives yet?
I think so. Right behind a big-ass pile of that mined metal shit.
The chroniclers blocked it off.